Gorka.
I got to get going. So thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate it very much. We appreciate it very much. Gorka, did I see the Gorka man? Yes, stand up, Gorka. Quick, get up. How good?
Gorka.
How good is he, Sebastian?
Stand up, Gorka man.
Seb. They call him Seb. I call him Sebastian. Thank you, Sebastian. I just spotted you. It's lucky you're nice and tall.
It's lucky you're nice and tall.
No longer Dr. G. Is it the Gorka man? Maybe if the former and God willing, if we do our part, the future.
Dr. G? Really? Really? Do these assholes always have to have a nickname for themselves? Honest Don, Dr. G? Fuck, man.
President give.
My name is Hal Sparks, by the way, and you can call me Hal or Mr. Sparks if you've never met me, and then you can immediately start calling me Hal right afterwards. But my name is Hal, and I do not have a weird nickname. Like I'm on fucking Step Brothers.
You a new nickname, you should stick to it. We are honored to have with us my former boss.
Stick Twit? That's your new nickname?
It's the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, welcome to America First.
Hi, Sebastian. I'm lucky I spotted you. See, you're nice and tall, so I was able to spot you. Otherwise, I would have been in big trouble if I didn't see you. You've been so great. So anyway, and I thank you for that.
He was sitting. Why don't you just say, I'm lucky everyone else was short? Oh, yes, Colonel Sparks also works. You can also call me Colonel. But only if we're having popcorn.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, let's begin with the thing that was most of concern to you the last time we met at Mar-a-Lago.
Which was doing interviews on video. That upset you greatly, so you'd rather call in and have them use a picture of you from 20-something.
Ago. I have to ask on behalf of the millions of people who are listening right now, how concerned are you, Mr. President? You are trouncing the current incumbent. You became the nominee with such ease.
Such ease? You kidding me? He didn't run unopposed like a bunch of previous Republicans where we'd have gotten 100% of it. And he lost 60% of, or 40% of the vote in a bunch of places, got 60%, but 40% of the voters aren't going to vote for him at all in these states. It's fucking terrible.
You certain
suck. Oh.
Are you confident that this election at least will be secure and fair?
They've cheated for many years, decades, I hear.
Well, then how the fuck did you get in?
I was witness to it the last time. And
how the fuck did Bush get in? Twice.
That was, in my opinion, absolute. It was a disgrace. We won that election. It was a rigged election. And look at what's happened between the borders of Afghanistan and Ukraine.
You mean us actually getting out? And yeah, I mean, I get it. Your wall sucks.
Being attacked by Russia. This would have never happened. And with Israel, the attack on Israel, October 7th.
Which was planned while you were president.
All of this is all of things that would never have happened. Inflation would have never happened.
Yeah, because the economy wouldn't have come back.
Because I had energy low, and when he came in, it doubled and tripled. And
because people started using it again. No one was going anywhere. It's the same shit.
Threw the whole system off. It's just so...
It threw the whole system off. The system of what? Failure?
So, I mean, think of...
We had a system. It was called collapse. It was going just fine.
Think of what the world would have been like if we...
Yes, if we'd have never had vaccines, if the Biden administration hadn't gotten a rescue package together, if they hadn't moved our economy forward to the point where it is the envy of the world. Yeah, what would that have been like? I guess same thing. It would have been. We would have all been waiting for sunlight to destroy COVID. I guess
we had an election where we had a fair election. Just to put it nicely, I want to be nice. We had a fair election. So they're going to try and rig it. I have no doubt about it. They've been doing it for years.
Wait, if they rigged it when you were in office, what fucking chance do you have? I'm serious about this. How the fuck does that work? If they met while you were president, you presided over, according to you, as president, the most unfair election in history. A bunch of upstarts and locals kicked your ass. A guy who never left his basement and was super unpopular and blah, blah, blah. And he kicked your ass. They managed to sweep your leg. How the fuck are you going to win if the guy's in charge now? What is that? How is that even? It's absurd.
And look, How can you win on open borders, high interest rates, a woke military, all the things that they talk about? All electric cars. How about all electric cars? They don't go far. They cost too much, and they're made in China. How do you do
No, they're not.
that? So how?
And they, again, what the fuck? Again, does he think electric car? Did he watch like Who Killed the Electric Car and think that's where the technology froze?
How can they win with what
They won last time.
do? The policies are so bad. The thing they do best is cheating at elections and missing.
Well, okay, if that's all they fucking need, they run the government now, dumb fuck. The whole fucking thing.
Information like the word bloodbath, which they've used 100 times over the last year about describing things, and I used it about
No, they haven't.
trade, essentially.
What the fuck? What do you mean? Democrats, that's you. What do you mean? This is really about you being uncreative or copying Democrats by borrowing the word bloodbath?
Auto trade, because we're getting ripped off with Biden's really dumb auto policy. I tell you what.
Oh, you mean the one that's in the USMCA that the U.S. since Biden got in has been fighting because, well, I'll just show it to you. I think that where's our guy? Boink. Let me pop down here. This whole business. I'll move this up here so I can shrink it down a little bit. USMCA panel rules against U.S. position in automotive origin dispute because the USMCA rules about country of origin were loosened from what they were at NAFTA under Trump, and we've been losing these things, and people are worried that USMCA is going to be broken up because we're going to blow off this ruling. We're not going to abide by it. We're going to say, no, these cars are made in China. It's not enough of a change to have them built in Mexico. We're not going to allow these into our country under the tariffs of the USMCA, no matter what the fuck Trump wanted while he was in office. Dickhead. Oh my God. What a goon. Wait, where'd we go? Here he is. Is this it? Yeah.
If any auto worker, United Auto Worker or other,
or other, you mean the scabs you had at your fucking gathering?
Any auto worker voted against Trump, they are not the smartest people. If they vote against Trump, if you look at what Biden's done to that industry, it's incredible.
You mean walking the picket line with them and guaranteeing all the workers the first new contract in a decade? Let's see. U.S. Automotive composites mark surpassed 2000 with innovation, sustainability, driving robust, double in March. I'm going to grab this one article. Trying to find the car call for a joint European Canada. It's going to be bloodbath. That's what came up in a bunch of these. Well, I guess maybe this is what upsets him. That's in Kuala Lumpur. Trying to find the U.S. Automotive Company output. Yeah, that'll work. Dodge Chargers ahead with electric muscle car, but hedges with Hurricane. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, this is nice. So Dodge Charger ahead with electric muscle car, but hedges with the Hurricane. 2024 Dodge Charger. I mean, it's kind of the perfect name. The Charger is the perfect name for an electric car, I gotta say. Dodge is committed to building muscle cars, whether they're electric or gasoline, makes no difference to the company. They said as much as 18 months ago, two-door electric Charger Daytona premiered. The concept is now a reality. However, the Charger lineup isn't kicking gasoline cold turkey. The company's twin turbocharged six-cylinder Hurricane gasoline engine, already installed in Jeep and Ram products, will also find a home in the lineup. That's very pretty. That's a cool looking car, I gotta say. Look at that thing. Very sex machine. Ooh, it's very sexy. It's got a very shark-like look to it. And because it's electric, the takeoff is nuts. Yeah, it's just, you know what the problem with these cars is that they just don't make a lot of noise, and therefore, how do you know it's cool? I'm not going to play it because they probably have music playing in the background. I don't know why the smoke is there. That was just added for effect because what would you do, blow the radiator on an electric vehicle? I don't think that it works that way. It's very cool, though. It's very nice. It's quite nice. It's a cool car. But then, of course, it's doomed to fail because America sucks at car things.
Incredible. In a short period of time, the electric mandate will destroy it completely.
You mentioned the border.
Why? Why?
The State of the Union was recently. The current incumbent was incapable of even mentioning correctly the name of Laken Riley. You took time to meet with his parents.
Well, I don't know what's worse, misgendering the dead, or saying Lincoln instead of Laken. Who? Man, that's a fucking way to eat it, dude. Yeah, I heard that. I think we all heard that. That sucks, dude. Really?
The current incumbent was incapable of even mentioning correctly the name of Laken Riley. You took time to meet with his parents.
His parents. Sure. His parents. Yeah, I mean.
I have to ask you, as the man who secured the...
And Trump just said, yeah, didn't correct him, didn't go, her, Gorka, Dr. G, her, she, her.
Border when you were the chief executive. What is the Democrat plan? Is it simply to turn tens of millions of illegals into citizens and then lock in their constituency by...
Why? If Trump is bragging about Hispanics that'll go for him, why the fuck would it be any different? If they're running from socialism, wouldn't they lean more Republican ultimately once they settle down anyways, even if they were grateful to the Democrats for letting them in the first place? They're not going to want their country to turn quote-unquote socialist, so of course they'd lean that way.
Breaking the U.S. Constitution. Why would they let at least 8 million illegals into this country in the last 3 years, sir?
They didn't.
I think that's what their plan is. Look, at first I would say, because they cheat so much, they don't really need to do that. They cheat.
Right, yeah. So it's almost like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
So much with the ballots and everything else. That
9/18/21. Yes, that's September of Biden's first year after COVID lockdown stopped and right after Delta and all that shit when things started moving again, right? And does it look like that now? No, it doesn't. Was Title 42 still in place? Yes, it was. Why don't you use footage from fucking now? Why don't you go to Ted Cruz's Twitter from the videos he posts now of the people coming across? Why? Because it's a fucking trickle comparatively?
They probably don't need to do that. But we think we have that locked down, we hope.
Why? And by the way, why are these guys standing there like that? Don't they just let them through? I thought the border was open.
We have it locked down. They always come up with another way of doing it, like broken machines all over the place. If you look at...
Oh my God, look at us, Americans passing out water to these disgusting animals.
Carry. The machines were broken. Everybody waited until Tuesday, which Republicans have historically liked to do.
Maybe they were stupid. Maybe that was a terrible plan. Like Vladimir Putin seeing the Afghanistan withdrawal and went, this is the perfect time. I can attack Ukraine and I won't lose a single soldier.
And then they got out and the machines were broken. Tremendous percentages of machines were just broken. And the courts don't give relief. It's hard to believe. But I guess their plan is the votes, because who would allow this to happen to our country?
Yeah.
They're allowing people from prisons and jails. They're allowing people from mental institutions and, on steroids is insane asylums. I always say
mental institutions on steroids are insane asylums.
Silence of the Lambs. It's Hannibal Lecter. One of the spooky movies, I will tell you.
One of the spooky movies, I will tell you. Yes, we were all tormented by the ghost of Hannibal Lecter when that Clarice Starling stayed overnight in the haunted Baltimore crazy place.
But they're allowing people from mental.
What the fuck? Hold on. Explain.
Silence of the Lambs. It's Hannibal Lecter. One of the spooky movies, I will tell you.
One of the spooky movies, I will tell you. I don't know, you know. Wrap your all this. Wrap your head around that sentence. One more time.
You know, on steroids is insane asylums. I always say Silence of the Lambs. It's Hannibal Lecter. One of the spooky movies, I will tell you.
All right. Hannibal Lecter. I always say Hannibal Lecter. Silence of the Lambs. One of the great spooky movies. If you're going to say spooky movie, whatever. I can tell you. That almost makes a sentence. But Silence of the Lambs is the movie. Hannibal Lecter is one of the spooky movies. I can tell you. Excuse me 1 second. I'm getting a call. Hello, Clarice. You will tell me if the lamb stops screaming. I'm sorry I have to go. I'm meeting an old friend for dinner. Dr. Lecter. Dr. Lecter. Dr. Lecter. Dr. Lecter. And scene.
But they're allowing people from mental institutions and prisons, and they're allowing terrorists into our country at levels.
No, they're not.
Levels never seen before. And Venezuela, I don't know if you saw, their crime is down 67%.
Right, because they take all their gangs and put them in giant prisons.
I'm sure this makes you happy. Their crime is down 67% because they've gotten all their gang members and all the bad ones and the rough ones, and
put them in a giant prison.
Put them into the United States.
How? Why wouldn't they stop in Mexico and just start criming?
You believe this?
No, I don't.
Well, it's not just the criminals that they are letting into this country.
No, it's not the criminals. Gorka!
Country, thousands of illegals every single day. It's also the weaponization of the judiciary. I still can't comprehend. I've seen you say it at Mar-a-Lago.
You can't comprehend? That's terrible. A terrible thing to say to the former president, who may or may not be one himself.
CPAC and elsewhere. You joke about what they're doing to you, the weaponization of the FBI and the judiciary. Our good friend and colleague, Kash Patel, and Lee Smith have theorized that the raid against you, sir, the only president to ever be raided by armed agents of the FBI.
He wasn't raided. They served a legally obtained search warrant. Nobody came in through the fucking windows. No doors were kicked in. It wasn't a raid.
Was over the binder of documents you declassified regarding the Russia hoax.
Yeah, where is it?
Do you think that's why the FBI is coming after you with these absolute...
What? Why would you declassify it and then fucking hide it? Honestly.
Political accusations and persecutions?
It could be. You don't know. It's very deeply seated. You know, when I fired...
It is. It's very deeply seated.
Comey and a lot of other people. You know, I fired a lot of people that were bad for us.
You know, my ma, she made coffee and cake and everything.
But Comey in particular, he was the head of the FBI, a disaster. It was a disaster. He was the one with Hillary Clinton where nothing rose to the occasion. They had her so-called, but with...
Nothing rose to the occasion, but they had her so cold.
Me...
You mean dead to rights?
I mean, if you take a look at what they did with her, you look at a double standard. I mean, the ultimate is Biden. He had many, many, many times more documents, more everything. He had no security, no nothing. They were on the garage floor of a flimsy garage with no...
Again, he gets this is so weird. He'll talk about the garage door that you could cut it with scissors. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. It's such a weird thing. Does he think it was cloth or something?
Secret Service. I had Secret Service all over the place. He had his documents sent to Chinatown.
Yeah.
And those
From his senatorial years.
boxes were used. Did you look at those boxes?
I saw
Those
the Zappos
boxes looked
box.
like
I
they
saw
were used on a daily basis.
the busted up Zappos box in which he kept top secret information.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at that. That was really. But you look at that as a double standard. You take a look. This is not justice, and they let him off the hook. And I did nothing wrong because I come under the Presidential Records Act.
Oh my God, the fucking Presidential Records Act. No, you don't. There's nothing. The Presidential Records Act is about what isn't yours, you dumb motherfucker, not what is yours. The Presidential Records Act doesn't give you the right to just claim all records as the president's. So fucking weird. He says this a lot, and I gotta believe it's because somebody on his fucking legal team misread it and thinks that he's protected by it. Like, you could just say these are your own personal things, and then it's yours, like the Sox case. We're like, no, motherfucker. Our response to Iran striking Israel is not your own personal notes.
I did absolutely nothing wrong. Plus, Mar-a-Lago's a secure place, and you have
No, it isn't. You rent it out.
Secret Service here because
yeah, but they only protect you. They don't protect the entire facility.
And you have.
They don't run security for the fucking place when you're not there.
And when I'm not president, I have a lot of Secret Service here, and all of the other things. And he gets off scot-free, and with me, I have to go through a process, but I think it's going to work out fine because I did nothing wrong coming under the Presidential Records Act, which he didn't come under. But think of it, they let him off scot-free and no problem, and with me, I have to go through a process. It's a disgrace what's happening in this country. The good news is the people see it. They see it, and
they see your decay.
we have the highest poll numbers I've ever had.
No, you don't. If you had the highest poll numbers you ever had, Haley wouldn't have won fucking Vermont.
I mean, that's good. We knocked off all the Republicans quickly in record time. You know that was record time.
Yes.
I don't know if you.
No, it wasn't. The record is everybody who ran unopposed. That's the record. The record is you never had to face him in the first fucking place. Why is that weird? Why does he not recognize? Well, I mean, he can't because obviously he would have to admit to himself that he's blazingly full of shit.
You keep score of things like that, but it was the fastest ever. And
also, why the fuck are you showing pictures of Mar-a-Lago? What like all this shows me is that I could walk from the fucking beach and there's only a hedge keeping me out of the fucking property.
that's good. And now we're focused on one person, and that's Biden, crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. We have never had a worse president. And, you know, I say oftentimes at a rally or wherever,
Yeah, wherever.
if you took the 10, I used to say 5 worst. Now I say 10 worst. I think I could go up to 15 pretty soon. I think I will.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference. You could say the bottom 50%. Nobody gives a shit.
If you took the 10 worst presidents and
Yeah, but the problem is that would include you.
added them up, they wouldn't have done the damage that this man has done to our country.
Right, because they would have done damage and he hasn't.
But
And
do
I
you
think you believe that.
But do you
as much
think
as
it's
anybody.
him? There are lots of theories as to. I mean,
Did you hear that? You believe that as much as anybody. When you try to fucking Jedi mind trick him?
you look at him; he's not cognitively competent.
Sorry, say that again, shithead. Oh, beg your pardon. Oh, I got myself all shiny. Hold on. Gorka. Gorka. Actually, look too cool with this. Hold on. That didn't look like it. Hold on. Why do these have glasses? What the hell? I don't know why I don't have a Gorka beard. Nope, that won't work. Work with me. How about this one? Gorka, I'm ready. Gorka. I'm double O Gorka. I'm double O Gorka. God damn it. Gorka. Man beard? What's it? What this? I look like a biker. This doesn't look half bad. I got a ride later on, ladies. Just remember this next time you see me with this kind of facial hair. Understand, I rode up on my hog. It's not a motorcycle; it's an actual trained hog. I couldn't go anywhere without her and stuff. And if if I ever get in trouble and I kill a man in a parking lot, hypothetically, my hog will just eat him. Evidence gone, and off we ride. Me on my hog. Squeal into the sunset. You like the porn star look? Is that what this looks like? Come on now. Oh, wait, maybe this is a bit. Nope, that's terrible. I'm trying to find one that works. Why the fuck? Why is this? Nope. Oh, that's a clean shave. I don't need to get rid of that shit. Beard. Well, now I just look like this is my Don Jr. beard. This won't work. I need a goatee. I think there's some sort of there's a conspiracy going on right now to stop you from trying to look like Gorka. I can't even say it with my Minnesota accent. It's really hard. How do you expect? I mean, that's one sentence that Donald Trump has never been able to say except around court cases and his difficulties there. Everywhere else, it's impossible for him to say, it's really hard, for the record. And if you don't believe me, I'll meet you in the basement of the Denver airport. Come on. All right.
Who's really running the country? Is it Obama? Is it Jill?
Jesus Christ, try to give him this out. Sometimes I say Obama, and they think I'm not joking, even though I say Obama instead of Biden, and I don't fix it. But that's because I think it's so true, people understand that I'm not making it up.
The Obama flunkies across government. Who do you think's really destroying America?
Clearly, it's the cabal that Roseanne warned us about. Come on.
I often ask the same question about him. Is it him? Because he's so out of it. Where does he even come up with ideas? I assume that's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Because you're almost saying, like, as evil as it is, it's like ideas, and it's really bad stuff. And I'm not sure that it's him. I know he must approve it. They must.
Well, that's a shot of him, like, everybody's talking to Obama, and he's like, talking to somebody else. He's like, hey, what? Okay, we're good. Turns back around and goes.
Look at him and say, can we do this? And he looks at him with a blank stare and says, yes, right? Nobody. It's the people look, it's Lisa, and it's all these guys that surround.
Lisa? Who the fuck is Lisa? Who's Lisa? Also, I thought he couldn't find his way off a stage. He seems to be going right for the fucking door, I guess. Hey, what's going on? Sorry, I turned that shit off. If I can, hold on.
That oval desk.
Real quick.
Ideas, and it's really bad stuff. And I'm not sure that it's him. I know he must approve it. They must look at him and say, can we do this? And he looks at him with a blank stare and says, yes, right? Nobody. It's the people look, it's Lisa.
It's Lisa. And then, remember, he says he can't walk off stage.
And it's all these guys that surround that oval desk. It's guys
kind of went straight for the exit right there. I don't know.
Like Andrew Weissman that, because she essentially works for him. And Lisa Monaco.
Monaco, yeah, at the Department of Justice.
She essentially works for him. So I would say it's her, and it's a group of people that surround that beautiful Resolute desk. I don't know if it's...
Hold on. Back up real quick.
There and says, yes, right? Nobody... It's the people look, it's Lisa, and it's all these guys that surround that oval desk. It's guys like Andrew...
You mean the desk in the Oval Office?
Andrew Weissman that, because she essentially works for him. And Lisa Monaco.
Monaco, yeah, at the Department of Justice.
She essentially works for him. So I would say it's her, and it's a group of people that surround that beautiful Resolute desk. I don't know if it's...
He cleaned up Oval desk. Also, the Resolute desk is a very specific desk. It's not, there's other desks available. I don't know if that... I'm pretty sure that's the one Biden uses as well. It's the one Obama used, but I think Trump wanted to use it as well because he felt jealous.
I don't know. To me, I don't see it because he's so out of it. You don't think he even thinks he just wants to go to sleep. But he's surrounded by people.
Also, like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're showing video of him speaking where you're like, he's raging, and the State of the Union, and then you're like, he can't even find his way off the stage. You show a video of him walking straight out when he's done with something. Good Lord.
that are vicious and smart, and they've been after
Yes. Unlike the people who were in your cabinet who were vicious and fucking morons.
me for years, and they continue onward. And if they devoted the same energy and talent to making America great again.
Yeah, if they devoted their talent to making the country great, we'd have a booming stock market. We'd have unemployment at the lowest level it's been in 50 years for the longest stretch ever. We'd have jobs and wages rising. We'd have inflation coming down. We have gas prices coming down. We'd have manufacturing coming back. We'd have a reshoring of multiple factories. Hold on a second.
And we'd be a much better country right now.
You talked about
We are a much better country right now, you dumbass.
the security of Mar-a-Lago, the Secret Service protection you have. I just want to raise one issue that is of concern to serious individuals and patriots. My good friend Dan Bongino, who you know is a former Secret
Bangholio, who is looking for a tipi for his bunghole. Yes.
Service agent, both he
Right.
They're very worried that you're going to be assassinated by your own colon.
and Alan Dershowitz, who's a Democrat, on my show,
Bullshit.
have both voiced their serious concerns for your safety.
Yeah, what are they afraid? He's gonna stand up, try to wipe his ass, keel over, and bang his head on the bathroom counter? Seriously, this motherfucker's gonna die like Elvis. If he eats too much cheese one afternoon, he's gonna blow his brains out trying to take a dump. Nobody's gonna kill this dumb motherfucker. Why would we? He's worth more to Democrats alive. He's a great example of the absolute dismal failure of the Republican Party.
Are you worried that the left are so insane with regards to Antifa, the normalization of violence,
Oh my God. That they might, Jan 6 Mar-a-Lago?
about you and your family's safety?
Are you worried at all about the Jan 6ers who don't think that are like, wait a minute, he talks a good game, but he didn't pardon these people when he had a chance? Fuck, I think he's not to be trusted and that they do it.
Mr. President?
Well, I've found Secret Service to be great, and I watch it very closely. I think they're great people.
You watch it very closely? What, is there a TV show?
I know many of the agents.
Yeah, not all of them, obviously. Not, I know a couple of the ones. I know Hey You and Big Guy and I know Central Casting. That guy's great.
And, I've had many, many agents, and I find them to be doing a great job. I really.
You've had them? Sexually? That's weird.
And I would tell you.
Does Melania know? More to the point, does she care?
Otherwise.
Does she hope you do?
I wouldn't even want them otherwise. They have really found, I think they're very outstanding people.
Okay, yeah. Fuckwad, he's not saying that the Democrats are going to order your own Secret Service detail to kill you.
Now, in every agency, you have people that aren't so outstanding, right?
Jesus Christ. That's not what he's talking about, you fucking moron.
I mean, no matter what you do, no matter how you play it. But I found that.
No matter how you play it, you could be the greatest guy in the world, and one of your own Secret Service will be so sick of your shit that they'll want to choke the fuck out of you while you're, they find you choking on a fucking fish delight, and they don't do the Heimlich when they're legally obliged to, and they just sit there, and then they wait a couple of seconds before they make the phone call. What do you think?
It'd be terrific. Absolutely.
Good. So.
Yeah, but they can't be everywhere at once, dummy. That's the point. That's what they're talking about. They're not talking about whether or not the Secret Service will do what they got to do. I believe they will. Good Lord. They mean, like, if you've got 6 fucking guys and 3,000 people storm up the steps at Mar-a-Lago, what the fuck are you going to do?
The big news of the first 24 hours of your next presidency, if we make it happen, God willing, is what happens in Ukraine with regards to Russia. Could you talk to us about the art?
Yeah, tell us how you could solve it. It never would have happened. You're going to solve it in 10 minutes.
Of the deal when it comes to stopping the
The art of the deal. I don't know. I didn't write it, so you got to ask that guy. Honestly, the fuck? Why do people keep asking me about what's in the art of the deal? That's like asking me what's in the fucking Bible. How the fuck should I know?
bloodshed in Europe?
Sure. Before I do that, I just want to add one other thing on Secret Service.
Yes.
They just totally refuted the Cassidy Hutchinson, who I
Yes.
barely knew. I wouldn't even know what she looks like, except
bullshit.
Except I've seen her after the fact. But Cassidy.
There is no way that woman walks around the Oval Office and Trump doesn't know exactly who the fuck she is. Shut up. It's probably one of the reasons why he wanted to hang Mike Pence, because he thought he would inherit her as an assistant.
Hutchinson's ridiculous story that I essentially attacked two Secret Service
No, it wasn't her story. She was relaying a story she had heard.
young, strong guys. I'm attacking them in the front of, I think she called it the Beast when it wasn't the Beast.
No, you called it the Beast, you dumb motherfucker. Oh my God, he's turning this around. He wasn't in the Beast. He was in one of the SUVs. That's why it was possible.
No. It was a different kind of a car, but she originally, I believe, said it was the Beast.
No, you did. Don Jr. made that case. Everybody on the right, holy fuck. It's us upside down world again. These assholes. They were saying, oh yeah, in the Beast, you can't even do that. There's like a screen that goes up and you can't even, ugh.
But think of it. She makes up this story. They refuted it in its entirety and strongly. Now, the problem is the J6 committee of, I call it the unselect committee.
Brilliant.
They're unselect.
Yeah, we get it. So the word was select, and you think unselect because they were unselected from, instead of being selected, they were not selected, even though they were selected.
The unselect committee.
Jesus Christ.
Destroyed all the evidence and everything.
No, they didn't.
They destroyed everything.
No, they did not.
I hear that Cassidy Hutchinson changed a lot of her testimony, and I say, what?
No, she didn't.
What's going to happen to her? She made up testimony that I was attacking two.
No, she didn't. She relayed a story she heard from the people that were there.
Very powerful, physically powerful people. And
strong, you mean? Physically strong?
A lot of my friends said, oh, gee, I never knew you were that much into fighting. You know, I like watching UFC, but they didn't know. They said, I never knew you were that into fighting. But the whole thing was such a fake
Right. And to that point, you were like, yeah, I'm not. I'm a total cream puff. What are you talking about? I would never try to do that. They'd kick my ass all over the place. He couldn't even deny it just then. It's like, it's a fake story, but I could totally kick their ass if I wanted to.
Story, and it was made up. It was just made up. And Secret Service totally refuted it. And so I do want to say that because it's important.
Yes.
I found them to be very reliable, very good. As far as Ukraine is concerned,
never would have happened
with Russia. Number one, it should have never started. It would have never started. It wasn't going to happen. There was never any discussion. I did discuss with Putin on numerous occasions his love affair with Ukraine. I mean,
his love affair with it. Yeah, and that's what you do when you love something. You bomb it for 8 years straight.
It was the apple of his eye.
Which is, what the fuck?
He would have never done it when I was there, and there were certain reasons, very strong reasons.
Like?
Very, very strong reasons.
Like?
He wouldn't have done it.
Like?
And he wouldn't have done it for another, maybe more practical reason. I had oil way down at a very low point. Energy.
Yeah. You mean COVID?
Oil. And he makes most of his money from oil, and oil was low. When Biden came in, he upset the energy apple cart. You know, we were energy independent.
The energy apple cart.
And now we're not. We go.
Yeah, there's no time for details, exactly.
Begging for energy from everybody. We have more than anybody else, but we have to go begging. So when he.
No, we don't. We're at the height of our productivity right now, and we have 9,000 unused leases.
He came in, Sebastian. He screwed up energy. That caused inflation, but it also gave a lot of money to Russia. Now, I happen to think that, you know, in terms of they were making money hand over fist. At $40 a barrel, they don't do great. At $100 a barrel, they never saw anything like it. And that was for a long time. And now it's going up again. Oil is going up again, if you notice. Mm-hmm. And it's going up very substantially, very quick.
Is it? Very substantially, very quickly. Well, let's check that out. That's a possibility. Hold on, let's see. 82.54, it's down. Whoops, hold on 1 second. Crude oil prices today. Let's see, U.S. gasoline inventory. Let's see. U.S. crude oil gasoline inventories in the U.S. continue to drop. Scientists can now hack weather satellites to quantify methane leaks. WTI crude is at 83. Merban crude is 87. Brent crude is 87. Natural gas 1.76. Here you go. 150. There you go. Oops. Scroll down here. Here you go. This is good. Okay. This is the Brent crude. Natural gas, heating oil. 40. Here's our. Well, let me show this. There you go. This is WTI crude is at 83. 87 for Brent. Merban crude is 87, is almost tied there or whatever. Natural gas is 176. That's down, up a little over a penny, 0.69%. Gasoline is 274. It's down. That's weird. Oil's up, gas down. Heating oil down 0.30%. WTI Midlands 84. Mars US 78. The OPEC basket is at 86. It's even. Canadian index to the Urals is at 72. Indian basket's 85. The Mexican basket, domestic set Cushing 79. Louisiana light. All these are stagnant, steady at zero change. Yeah, so OPEC pricing is leading the rise. There you go. You see the jackups there. U.S. cost of U.S. oil hasn't gone up significantly. Western Canadian Select has gone up, but it's 66.86, so it's still lower than everything else. But the international prices have gone up. Yeah, so that's what it is. It's about he's basically saying like OPEC is trying to control the price again. All the more reason for renewables.
But think of it. So
think of it. If we all drove electric cars, we wouldn't give a rat fuck what oil prices were.
He is making all of this money, and he goes in. But I happen to think that the horrible, most embarrassing day or moment in the history of our country was the withdrawal, the way we withdrew from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And
again, why?
We left $85 billion worth
no, we
of
didn't.
equipment behind. We lost 13 soldiers.
Well, you released 5,000 Taliban soldiers. I think that's more embarrassing.
What nobody ever talks about, we have 38 soldiers, 39 soldiers that were horrifically hurt.
38, 39. Does it really matter?
Hundreds of people were killed on both sides, hundreds, and we have American hostages still there.
No, we don't.
I mean, they're still there.
No, they're not.
That was the worst thing, and that showed such great incompetence that I happen to think that really led to Putin saying, this is the time, let's go. These guys are incompetent. They don't know what they're doing. And
boy, was he wrong.
He went into Ukraine. With
and he lost 500,000 people.
That being said, it was easy then. It's much more difficult now. But the sad thing.
Why? Why is it more difficult now? Because once he did it, he was going to keep doing it? Can't you talk him out of it?
Is we now have hundreds of thousands of dead people.
Well, the Russians do, sure.
And we have cities and a culture that's been blown up. I mean, many of those cities are gone. They've been wiped off. Those beautiful ancient towers of gold. They've been...
What? Those beautiful ancient towers of gold? Where the... Russia didn't attack Atlantis, you dumb motherfucker. What?
Wiped off the planet. They can never be resurrected.
Well, of course not. They're ancient towers of gold. What the hell? Ancient towers of gold. I gotta say, this might be the dumbest thing he said so far. And he said some dumb shit over the years. Good God. Ancient towers of gold. Fuck are you talking about?
In that form. And that form was a beautiful form. So all of that is gone.
Look at that woman with a fresh head injury from a piece of flying gold. She was struck in the head by flying chunks of gold.
And so nothing you can do now could ever have competed with the fact of no war. There would have never been a war.
Nothing could compete with the fact of no war?
Not even to make it. I could have made a deal. But I wouldn't have even had to make a deal. Could have stayed the way it was. It would have never happened under me, under my administration. Okay, so now it's all done.
Right. So let's get the bullshit out of the way. Now what would you do?
Biden has made a mess of that like he has every other thing. You have hundreds of thousands of dead people. And
Most of them Russian
You have
soldiers.
cities that are blown to pieces. What do we do?
Yes. What is it? Here you go. We're going to get specific. Thanks, Gorka.
We have to get both of them together, and I say, you got to get this thing done. You're going to get it done. And I will say certain things to each one of them that I wouldn't say to the rest of the world, and that's
Why? Because the rest of the world would go, holy fuck, you're a monster.
why I can't tell you much more than that, but
Because it's bullshit?
I believe that I will get it done. I know Putin.
Well, that's all I need. I mean, I know a lot of us thought, hey, they're just showing like incubators in the building that the Russians blew up. But we could shrug that off. You know, I'm going to tell them things in the room like, fuck the babies. Let's move on.
Very well, and I know Zelensky fairly well. Zelensky
Yeah, you definitely know Putin better than you know Zelensky. That's for goddamn.
was very honorable with the phone call because he said, no, I wasn't threatened at all. He could have played that out
Yes.
and made a big deal out of it. He said, I wasn't threatened at all by President Trump. It was a very
Yeah, because you could have won the election and you're a fucking vindictive bastard. It would have put him on the back foot, and he knew that Russia was planning an attack like everybody else.
very nice call. I mean, that call turned out to be a perfect phone call.
Oh my God, no it didn't. If it was a perfect phone call, they couldn't have even come up with anything that even remotely convinced anyone. It would have been perfect. It was, indeed, imperfect.
Called it. I mean, I actually called it. And they knew it because they had the laptop from hell.
Okay, first of all, the laptop from hell doesn't exist unless you're talking about the laptop from Russia, which Russia is hell. I'll grant you that. Secondly, what the fuck does that have to do with this?
But anyway,
Yeah, anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. Fictional solution.
played it very honorable. You know, he could have, you understand what I mean, Sebastian.
Yes.
He could have grandstanded, oh, I
Yes.
felt threatened, et cetera, et cetera. He wasn't threatened at all. And he said that, which destroyed their case, their no case, because fortunately they had that call recorded. And once they had the
Oh, they?
recording, that whole thing died, and it died fast. But what a shame
No, it didn't. You were impeached over it.
that the country has to go through all that by these dishonest guys like Shifty Schiff. He is so bad.
That he's going to become the next senator from California?
And to think he'll possibly and probably
Oh, yeah,
be
definitely.
a senator is
Oh, definitely.
so disgraceful to this
Oh, it's so sad, you know, that now Rand Paul has to deal with him standing nearby. It's going to be rough.
country. It's such a downer for this country to have a
It is. It's such a downer. It's a buzzkill, bro.
guy like that in the Senate who's lied and everything else. But I would get them together and I would make a deal. And I'll get it done. And I know exactly what to say. But if I say it to you or if I say it to the public, I can't say it anymore. But
Why? Seriously, why? What is it about that, you know, that's like, imagine if no one could talk about a two-state solution in Israel and Gaza. You couldn't even bring it up. Here's what I would suggest is a two-state solution where this happens and we deal with it in these circumstances. Maybe we have the PLO or the PA come in and work together with the people of Gaza and set something up or whatever. That's what I would suggest or whatever. And if that fails, then be a secondary UN peacekeeping force would be a second way to do this, whatever, and we'd be able to get Israel out of there, and the reconstruction would be done, multilaterally with our partners in the region, and the United States could help a little bit with it, and as could Israel, as an act of goodwill. We could put that together. Why can't you say something like that? I'll tell you why. Because the minute he says what he's planning, Putin would applaud, and everyone in Russia would applaud, and the Ukrainians would go, fuck you, as would the vast majority of Americans.
it's a chess match. It's a giant, very important chess match.
It's not a chess match. You just said you'd get them in a room and tell them what's going to happen, and that's that.
It's a poker game.
Well, that's very different. There are different rules with poker, and there's a lot, I don't know if you noticed, but in poker, you don't have as many pieces.
And we got to get it done. Biden said the worst
Do you have two bishops? Go fish. Oh, sorry, that's your line.
things. I mean, initially, he was just, I don't blame anybody other than Putin, and I don't blame anybody other than the people involved. But Biden was so bad in terms of not stopping it. He could have stopped that easily.
How?
But everything he said was.
Wait a minute. No. You could say what you could say. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. But Biden could have stopped it just by this, this, and this. He could have seized the thing and sent in what? Sent in troops? Bombed the fucking incoming Russian troops? What do you mean?
Almost the opposite of what he should have been saying. He is not much of a chess player. They're good at cheating
What the fuck are you talking about?
on elections, but they're not good at a lot of other things. That I can tell you.
It's not just Ukraine, however, Mr. President. We now have a war in the Middle East. For 4 years, there was no war under your tenure as commander-in-chief.
What the fuck are you talking about? There was Syria. There were ongoing fights in the Middle East, in Iraq. Afghanistan had a bunch of dust-ups. What the shit are you talking about?
You have proven yourself to be the most pro-Israel, most philo-Semitic president since the rebirth of Israel.
Philo-Semitic. Lover of the Semites.
In 1948. You moved the embassy. You recognized Jerusalem. It's one of my
Yeah, it's what Yahweh Sinwar said was his primary reason for planning the attack.
great regrets that I was invited to the reopening of the new embassy that Ambassador Friedman created in Jerusalem. I couldn't go. Could you explain?
Well, I'm going to wander up here, and I'm going to put a little note in there, God, if you can do something, maybe strike Stormy Daniels with a lightning bolt, something like that. I know it's a big ask, but not for you.
Why is it, seemingly, that this administration, including Chuck Schumer in the Senate, so hate the man that Israel chose as their prime minister? Why do the Democrats
hate? What the hell is that? What is he doing? He's like, I always heard of it as the wailing wall, not the sucking wall. I guess supposedly you got to take in a breath to be able to wail in the front. Whoa. What in the hell?
Hate Bibi Netanyahu.
I actually think they hate Israel.
Yeah.
They told me, go up there, count to 35 with your eyes closed, and people will think you're praying. And then he looks like he's pissing on it. Just like, what? I thought this is what you're supposed to do. Good Lord.
I don't think they hate him. I think they hate Israel. And the Democrat Party
They don't hate Netanyahu. They hate Israel.
hates Israel. And the Democrat Party, if you remember, when many Israeli representatives, including Netanyahu, when they came to the country begging, at that time President Obama, please don't make the Iran nuclear deal, which is a disaster and was a disaster. And I ended it. But unfortunately, they didn't do anything with the ending of it. I ended it. And
what?
Would have had a new deal made with Iran. It would have been good for everybody, and there would have been.
Yeah, but then I lost the election. I was like, fuck you people.
No nuclear weapons. You know, they're very close to getting a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, totally. 65 days ago, they were 65 days away. Probably, by tonight sometime.
Right now.
Yes.
And once they have that, it becomes a different form of negotiation, a much more difficult negotiation.
Yeah, they bomb Pakistan and Pakistan fires on them and then problem solved, I guess.
But I really believe they hate Israel. And they also see a lot of votes. Don't forget, when you see those Palestinian marches, even I'm amazed at how many people are in those marches. And guys like Schumer see that. And to him, it's votes. I think it's votes more than anything else, because he was always pro-Israel. He's very anti-Israel now.
No, he isn't. He doesn't like Netanyahu, and he thinks Netanyahu is ruining Israel's standing in the world, and at the very least is terrible at the messaging and control of what's going on there, explaining what's going on and being more direct about it, and also pushing back against the U.S. providing aid. That's why we're building a fucking floating pier.
Jewish person that votes for Democrats hates their religion. They hate everything about Israel. And
any Jewish person that votes for Democrats hates their religion and everything about Israel. Okay, so I guess we're with that whole Biden. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I guess we're even on that.
They should be ashamed of themselves, because Israel will be destroyed. You have Iran now making a nuclear weapon. None of that would have happened with me. That's a big.
It was happening with you.
Big thing. With me, Iran was broke. They were absolutely.
No, they weren't. He gave them a waiver. The $6 billion for the hostages, then the South Korean bank that money was made during Trump.
Stone cold broke. There was no terrorism because they didn't have money to fund Hamas and
There was no terrorism.
Hezbollah and the other 28 groups. They had no money. They were stone.
There were literally rocket attacks from Gaza into Israel at least every week that he was president.
Cold broke. China couldn't buy oil from them. None of the countries were buying oil for them.
That's his whole
China don't buy, none of you buy.
Weird thing. South Korea bought from them, as did a couple of other countries, because he gave them a specific waiver.
At my order.
Okay.
They didn't buy it. I said, you buy it, you're not going to do business with the United States of America. They said, we'll pass, and they didn't buy oil. And they were broke. Now they have $221 billion, including the $6 billion that we gave them.
Nope, they don't have it.
For hostage.
Still in the South Korean bank.
Yeah. Okay, we gave them $6 billion, including the $10 billion that we gave them so that Iraq could get electricity. How about that? We gave them $10 billion so Iraq gets electricity, and Iraq wants to throw us out. The whole thing is crazy. These people.
By the way, the only reason you think we should be in Iraq is so we could keep their oil.
Are the worst. There's something wrong with them. They are the worst negotiators. All they're good at is evil. They're evil people. Yeah.
Well, that settles it. All right. I've heard enough, as have you. It's just more of this same kind of shit. Just old man yells at clouds is his argument. And I went way over time, but I missed you guys, so I thought, I'd extend it a little bit if that's cool with you guys. But I got to eat something or I'm going to pass out. So love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Regular morning show, regular afternoon show, timing back to normal the rest of the week, just so you know. And then on the 29th coming up, we got the show at Flappers. And then the next show up, Sexy Liberals, Minnesota, is in Minneapolis. And I'm very excited about these. It's gonna be very good, and I'm hoping we get some Nerd Halen gigs on either side so that people can come. And if you come into if you're in the surrounding area and you're like, should I buy tickets? It's kind of a drive for the one night or whatever. Maybe you come in, make a weekend out of it. I'm just saying, maybe I could throw that in to kind of soften shit up. Now I'm saying, come on, it's true. And if you stick around after the goddamn show, I will provide you with some I'm just going to say, firsthand knowledge of the kind of firsthand knowledge you can only get from me. And, if you've ever read the Dead Sea Scrolls in their original Italian, because they were written at the Vatican, which, by the way, there's a tunnel in the Vatican that takes you right past the kidney. Yeah. I'm worried about it. Kidney. That's scarier than the Illuminati. More frightening than Bigfoot, who is actually the head enforcer of the Illuminati. He comes in the night and squeezes your head like a pimple. The kidney. That's what scares me. That's what worries me. Oh, God. Oh, God, I feel the heat coming on. I'm going to need a goddamn nap.